Hey, 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 hey,
Yeah,
hey, 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 hey.
yeah.
Welcome in. Happy Monday to everyone. Hopefully you had a great weekend, a safe weekend, but a sports-filled, especially NFL-filled weekend.
Oh,
Pretty.
was there NFL this weekend?
There was, so I'm told.
Just kind of went under the radar.
Yeah, I've heard something about it,
Hmm.
some rumors and what have you, but I still kind of hate the name, but now it's kind of growing on me. Super Wildcard Weekend at
Yeah.
hand. Uh, Also, the fact that, towards the end of the second game yesterday, I was like, these fools are going to do this every year now. Like, they just got 2 whole
Hmm.
days of all day football with the 3 games. I feel like it's not going to go away now.
I'm
But,
kind of here. I'm kind of here for it, to be honest with you.
yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
A couple comments off the top. Suck at mosquitoes. They're not off the hook anymore.
No.
Now that, the NFC East has sort of, you know, resolved itself. Nick is back to hating on the
Get
mosquitoes
back to the important stuff.
instead of the Eagles.
No.
Um, yeah, Justin chiming in with his new favorite coach on the Cowboys, Dan Quinn, which we will touch on a little bit later.
Better a defensive coordinator than a head coach. I'll give him that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And time, hey, Skynet is real.
It is real. It is real.
I have to say it is real. Cyber Saban is balling out.
Oh,
Well,
God.
he's just laying the wood to Ohio State right now. Which we will also touch on that a little bit.
Yep.
And one more from Nick, and happy to say, as I am, suck it Steelers. Suck it Steelers.
Oh, man. Oh,
Suck it.
boy.
Fantastic. Fantastic. But
Yeah.
before we dive into all that, a couple other things too. Want to start off with a little soccer too, but because the magic of the cup was this week in the
That's
FA
right.
Cup. But Tyler, how was your weekend? How are you doing this evening?
Oh man, doing good. Always nice to see the Buckeyes getting beat. Although I think they did just score, so now they've brought it down to a 2-possession game. So that's Saban is not going to be happy about that.
Oh, he's going to be
But
pissed. We got to clean
no,
that up.
that's right. But no, it was a good weekend, man. Just from 10 a.m. until like 9 p.m. both days was just NFL football all day. Got to watch some FA Cup in the morning, especially, and we'll get into it shortly here. The exciting Marine Tottenham game was fucking amazing. I've never had so much fun watching a home team lose 5-0. That game was just pure fun. Loved it.
Yeah,
But all in all, good weekend. Ronnie, how was your weekend?
it was good. I wish I could have seen more FA Cup, but it was mostly, my sports viewing was reserved for the NFL, which I did get to see a lot of, which was nice. Except for Saturday, probably 2.5 of the games I missed at being at work. But like I said, I feel like the Super Wildcard Weekend is just going to be here to stay.
I think you're right.
I think, whatever they could even give up another preseason game or, whatever they're going to do to make it work. But having that all day for 2 days on the weekend TV thing, we know how the NFL works. I mean, I think that's just going to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But to Tyler's point about the FA Cup, this is still it's late enough, but it's still early enough to where you see some of these like David versus Goliath type things. If you're not familiar with the FA Cup, this is in England, and any organized football team can enter into this thing. So
Correct.
before, by the end, it's very rare that you see. Occasionally, you might see what
The
would be
championship side, maybe.
yeah, championship, which is like triple A, and those are the teams that are kind of like can move up and down, be in the Premier League, hopefully try to stay in the Premier League after that. But um, we're still at that point where you get some interesting matchups, and the most interesting, in fact, I believe the biggest discrepancy of all time was Marine AFC hosting Tottenham Hotspur, separated by 161 places in the English football
Oh
pyramid.
my God.
Marine AFC is in the 8th tier, by the way, and the 161 is standings all the way down. So
Right.
your position in that league and then you go to the next one and the next one. So 161 spots. You could see the field there, and we got more pictures of it because it's incredible. There's not really any seating there anyway, even if it wasn't a COVID type situation.
I think it's like 2,000 people, maybe.
That's with standing and other things. It's right there in between like these row house things that they have. But they hosted Spurs, big event, obviously in the history of the club, probably the most substantial game ever. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab that picture too because I thought that was a really cool picture. They showed just another view of the field. So you can see it. This is like the view that you would see on TV. So the press box, if you will, is set up on this side. And normally they have the stands, whatever stands there would be on the other side. In this case, the benches. But then it's just people's houses right there. So this team played Tottenham Hotspur. And, what is not to love? First of all, with those houses, this is how people watch the game just from their backyard. There was all kinds of good ones. I didn't have enough room to put, all the pictures in here, but this guy watched it from the top of his shed. Like, oh yeah, just gonna do some work in the lawn. I'll be back in about 90-ish minutes. Yeah, I'll be back inside. And so it was just a wild experience. And this is another one I like too. So you see the circled number there. They had numbered different sections of the fencing around the field. So that way, if a ball did fly out of play, they would know what house to go knock on to try to get the ball back. They had these all around the entire field.
Oh man, I love it.
But the cool thing is, sports everywhere have taken a huge financial loss because of no fans. Also, I love the three people right there, like, oh man, just getting to see Spurs right here from my backyard. They did work together with Spurs, and they sold virtual tickets. I'm trying to find that one here. Let's see. There we go. This is from their official Twitter account. 30,697 virtual tickets sold, which is a huge financial boost for a team that is completely semi-pro in Marine AFC. Do not get that twisted. Please believe that, which we will see here. Actually, I think that was the one I accidentally pulled up at first. Biggest mismatch in FA Cup history. Marine AFC hosts Spurs. To put it into perspective, Marines roughly £2,000 weekly wage bill is what Sun and Kane combined earned in roughly the last hour, just by still being under contract. And then you take a look at the squad. So this was a graphic that they put up on BN Sport. My favorite, James Berrigan, bin man, which I had to look up. Yep. I assumed it was some kind of trash man. It is, but
which it is, yes.
We got teachers, plumbers out there. Salford, which Tyler and I both had to look up. I don't even know what TNS is.
I still don't know. Actually, TNS, that might be the guy that works for, because one of the people is does COVID testing. Like, that is his job. So I think that might be that guy.
Yeah, you got a guy who works at a supermarket out there playing. Next thing is Gareth Bale. I saw a great interview. First of all, it was just funny because it's an FA Cup, later round match, and it's on TV. So you're going to have Mourinho coming out talking, and then they talk to the manager of Marine FC. And he looked like a guy that would be the manager of Marine FC, but he works. As you can see, his day job is working for the railroad, but he looked like a guy that works for the railroad. Let's be honest. But he was even saying, it was cool to be a part of this kind of thing. We're small time, but it was exciting for the fans. Whatever. He was like, by the end, we were on the bench just kind of laughing because they just all right. They just took out Dele Alli. Oh, here comes Gareth Bale as a sub. Like what? Like at that, what are you gonna do at that point? You're just laughing. Like they're all sort of in on the joke of how crazy that was. But I'm glad they were able to make a cool amount of money by doing this. Probably the biggest thing ever that's happened in this town. International recognition wise. And I also like this tweet as well. Now Cummins. who's an Arsenal fan and a PE teacher. 1 key pass, 6 aerial duels won, 0
Hey,
times dispossessed, 0 unsuccessful touches. That
there
is
we
a
go.
baller. Have a weekend, son.
Yeah, it was seriously just like so much fun to watch. You know, again, nobody expected Marine to win. The fact there was only 5-0 was actually pretty impressive. But just like the people in the neighborhood around them was great. Like I was telling Ronnie, there was like they showed shots of 2 women in their backyard drinking champagne the whole time. There was one house that was blasting the Three Lions "It's Coming Home" song like the entire game. Some people had air horns. They had air horns that were like trying to time it with like, you know, anytime a Tottenham player tried to kick the ball, they'd blast the air horn. It was just it was so much fun to watch. And you know, it's part of the beauty of the cup is you get this, you know, Tottenham, who's usually top. I don't know if I could say top 4, top 6 in the Premier League, who play in a 80,000 seat beautiful new stadium, going and playing in some basically a park against you know, a club that is semi-pro. That's oh man, gotta love it.
This is the FA Cup, as far as the prestige, you know, of winning, which is it's still usually going to be 2 Premier League teams. Don't get it twisted, but it has diminished a little bit in recent years. It's not as much value put on it, but this is the time where you really see the charm, because you see some of these teams that will never, ever, ever be on TV for any reason whatsoever, probably not even on the radio, get to go and then just randomly play against a Spurs or someone of that caliber. So I just thought this was really, really cool that did happen. And the other one that I saw that I think this is Tier 6, right? This is Chorley FC, but they did beat Derby County, who had a lot of players out because of coronavirus things.
Mm-hmm.
But they beat them. They're moving on. So Tier 6 is still pretty semi-professional. I mean, the pyramid of soccer in England goes like it's huge. It goes to like bar league kind of teams.
Oh yeah,
and especially with this FA Cup. I mean, I think the pyramid in the U.S., just for perspective, is like 6 tiers maybe at the most. So Chorley FC on this cup run, for some reason they've been it's like a good luck charm. You know, everyone's been on teams where for some reason either superstitions or songs or whatever that have no bearing at all on what happens, it just becomes a thing because momentum.
It's a rallying cry. It's like the "We Are Family" of the you know.
It's just
Pirates
it just gains momentum, and then it's like, well, we can't stop doing it because we got to keep doing it. Like we're just gonna ride with it. So after they did beat Derby County, pretty what we would say is scenes in the locker room as they did break it down, and apparently Adele, who like never tweets, but which I saw the comments to her thing, which I kind of feel bad. It was just a bunch of people like, you tweeted again. When are you putting out the new album? Like everyone just harassing her. But Adele definitely saw the video, co-signed on it. Just like I said, drink in the scenes. Chorley FC. Why so shy? And I knew to hold back. Gotta love it.
Oh yeah.
Big day for the lads. Nice day out. One step closer to Wembley. Let's go, Chorley FC. Come on, the Magpies.
Okay, look, gotta appreciate that. I mean, anybody that's watched any amount of British sports knows they don't need any reason to pick any song to sing, but it is nice to find a team that has that rallying cry.
And a couple more comments before we go off the FA Cup. I like this one from Jaime. The location for the FA Cup looks like a neighborhood in a Blur music video. It does. That's that park life, son.
That's true.
And,
that's true.
Justin, essentially the equivalent would be if once a year my beer league softball team got to take on the Padres at baseball. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Sums it up. Yeah.
So, like I said, this is sort of that magical time when you do get 99% of these teams do not win, but you just seeing them out there on the field against Chelsea or something like that. It's always like and in a normal year, and shout out to Marine FC for working, and Spurs honestly for just helping out with the virtual ticket thing, because that money they made up no one could go anyway, but that's potentially like a life-saving thing for a smaller team that is already, they don't have a lot of seating, fans can't go, this could be a nice boost to them going forward.
And actually, to piggyback on Chorley's run, though, they actually did the round 4 and round 5 draws today before the West Ham game, and I believe Chorley got another home game for the next round.
Let's go.
So I mean, look, if West Ham make it, I'm rooting for Chorley, but also I actually did love that in the next round they drew Man U is playing Liverpool, so that'll be pretty fucking fun.
So one of them's getting taken out. So
and then if West Ham wins their game, which they may not, because West Ham loves to lose to lower-sided teams, West Ham would play the winner of Man U and Liverpool.
All right, well, we got to win that next game. But they won today.
Just focus on the next game. That's it, yeah.
Just one day at a time, boys. Come on. But nice to see just rallying around that. But the biggest thing going on, actually, a couple, just as a side note, I don't want to get, we're going to go into the football next, but I forgot to mention this at the top. And as you know, Tyler and I are diehard Art LeBeau fans. The GOAT.
Love him.
He tweeted this out over the weekend, the king of prison dedications. And now he has an app that he is endorsing, so you can send photos to your loved ones behind bars.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm assuming it's not him that puts these tweets out also, but the hashtags are pretty great. Hashtag PrisonGF, hashtag missing my inmate, hashtag real prison wives, hashtag inmate love, etc., etc., etc.
I would love to. I would love it if he actually did that and he came up with those hashtags. Just some 86-year-old Armenian dude that's like, all right, hashtag prison love.
Maybe Art's tweet game is nice like that. He's got it all figured out. He's a social media wizard. But on to the football. Super Wildcard Weekend. And it was, despite, my initial hatred for the name, pretty entertaining.
Yes, it was.
A couple dogs out there, but also some really good stories. Indy at Buffalo. Buffalo just moving on, man. This is a huge deal for them. Tyler and I were, just talking about it afterwards and then before the show. Buffalo is starved to win some playoff games. It's been a long ass time, and it looks like they are one of those teams sort of peaking at the right time. Colts kind of mounted a late comeback, but come up short with the attempted Hail Mary there at the end. I know a lot of San Diego fans are rooting for Phil in that game, which I don't have a problem with, but also you can't not acknowledge the great story of the Bills, because what else is there to do in Buffalo? Like, some of these people, they live for it. I know this guy certainly does, who I saw on the broadcast.
Yes.
Look at that unit. How can you not be happy for that guy?
In awe of the size of the lad.
The size of the lad alone.
That's their general manager, fool. That's
Yeah, I'm a 5% owner.
Yeah.
When he showed up, real
wings and football. That's what they do in Buffalo.
And this is only going to just further, drive on the notorious Bills Mafia, which, first of all, I want to grab this. So this
get Justin's comment. Smith.
it'll stretch out over the years.
A little bit, just a little bit.
He's still rocking it. He's still on this ride together with the fine people of Buffalo. And after this was today, I believe. And this is, like I said, playing a dangerous game. But Josh Allen circling the wagons of the Bills Mafia. He's like, no, tables, plural, and light them on fire too. Let's do it.
Yes.
Which I gotta love the enthusiasm. But that was already going on, and without his direction. So now that there's a call to action, watch out. But we did have a great Bills Mafia table job over the weekend, and it didn't involve flames.
Go! 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 Ah, there we go!
Put him out! Put him out! Put him out!
Oh, jeez.
Bills Mafia.
Those dudes up there, they never cease to amaze me. That's I fucking love the Bills Mafia.
And the longer this goes on, the bigger and crazier it's going to get. So
yeah,
hopefully no one gets seriously injured here, but you can get mildly injured. It's Bills Mafia. I mean, what do you expect?
They're going to step up. They're going to have glass tables that they're going to start going through. It's going to.
God.
They're going beyond Mick Foley. They're going like early ECW. They're going like combat zone wrestling. They're going like just the insane stuff.
And yes, the Barons, stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, that's important to remember. Even in the snow, kids watching, do not attempt that. And then Justin, yeah, I want the Bills to go all the way, but damn, people will die, man. Maybe. But, that's how they choose to live. I mean, guy that we showed earlier, he might just die anyway.
They didn't choose that life. That life chose them.
Born into it, had to do it. But big love to the Bills getting that playoff win. I know it's a big deal. And man, the Rams that I hate and the Seahawks I don't really care for, but Russ is he's not really cooking anymore. It's a weird thing with this team because their defense was like historically one of the worst defenses in NFL by like halfway through this season. And then by the time this game rolls around, they're in like the top 3 in several defensive categories. But their offense just did the complete opposite over the course of the season. And this is what you see. And the Rams defense played really well. I mean, unfortunately, Donald got hurt, but I think he only played like 28 snaps or something like that before he got hurt. But in those 28, he had like 3 sacks and like a bunch of pressures. Like he was just a monster.
So Donald tore some rib cartilage, but they say he will be good to go for this upcoming game against the Packers.
Which is going to be pretty big because Goff did get in the game. Still look like shaky Goff that makes all that money. But their defense was so good that it didn't really matter. I think it ended up Ramsey had in the last time they played. I mean, Metcalf had an okay game. Ramsey wasn't on the whole time. I think he pretty much sort of just like walked with him in this game and just sort of took him out of the entire game. He had like, I don't even know how many catches, like 3 or 4 catches in the game. The Rams defense is no joke. It's just kind of like, what are you going to get with Goff? So I don't know how long this goes. I mean, that might be the only game they win, but I guess your prize is going to Green Bay.
I mean, I in the message thread with you and Justin over the weekend, I kind of said, and I do still feel this way. The Rams, on paper, have the formula to beat the Packers. They've got a good defense, assuming everybody's healthy, of course. And if Akers gets going, they can just run the ball all game. They don't need to have Goff pass it. So on paper, they have they have the formula. The problem is, if you go behind against Green Bay, you're done. It's already over. Like, you can't let Green Bay get a lead. And that's the thing is Green Bay gets leads. They score early. They score often in the first half, and then they kind of let up. But if they jump out in front of this Rams to get, a 10-point lead, it might be that might just be it right there.
Well, and I would definitely hope to see just Ramsey and Adams, just all game. Like let them
Mhm.
move around, let them follow them around the field, and let's just see what happens. I think that's if you're the Rams, what you got to do. And actually, I was listening to Petros and Money on the way home, and Money made a good point about like I'm not a huge McVay fan. Um, I respect the technique, but
Mm.
he did make a good point of like for someone that's usually these offensive genius type regarded coaches, he has at least had the self-awareness to quarterback situation's not great. We don't know if we're going to consistently be able to make drives down the field and score. So he's sort of slid more towards like running the offense in a way to put his defense in a better position because he knows that is the best like phase of his team right now. So
Mhm.
not, making super risky plays or anything like that. Just like if we can get some points, that's the goal, obviously. But putting the defense in a position to get on the field in an advantageous like area of the field.
Yeah. I mean that is a fair point. I do also got to kind of wonder, man, what happened to Wilson? I mean, he was
Yeah.
he was bad this game. And this was a guy that first half of the season it was like, oh, okay, this is his year for MVP. This is it. And then him and the entire offense just fell apart. And I kind of I'd have to go back and kind of look at it, but I almost wonder if they kind of did like the opposite of the Browns. Like the Browns at the start of the year, their offense was like, okay, feed OBJ. Like, don't worry about anybody else, feed OBJ. OBJ goes down, now they can spread it out, the offense starts working. Seattle, it's kind of like, okay, like at the beginning of the year, it was like spread it all around, and then all of a sudden it became, well, feed Metcalf. And if we saw it. Look, Metcalf wasn't getting anything thrown to him. He got pissed and threw his helmet on the sideline. So I almost wonder if it was like they just started thinking like, okay, like our offense is feed him and then worry about everything later, and it really hampered their offense. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it, but I was just kind of thinking that over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean the pace that Wilson was on to start the season, he was high up, probably the favorite after like a month or so to be the MVP, and it just took the total opposite track. Like I said, of that defense that was miserable, became pretty top
Pretty
flight, at
good.
least in the
Yeah.
course of this season, stats wise, and just a weird situation you don't really see with a lot of playoff teams where that huge swing one way or the other. But they will be missed. And, Rams, I'm still mad at you for being the first loss to the Jets. But
Justin, no, he was 1-3. He was not the MVP the first half of the season. He was 1-3. Stop. You stop that MVP nonsense.
let Russ cook top ramen also. I like that. But yes, football team at their untimely demise. A sad end to a strange, dark chapter in NFL football. The NFC East is now eliminated from the playoffs with that home game. Chase Young just could not get what he wanted, which was Brady. And Bucks, I mean, they look pretty good. Washington got 23 points. I got to say, shout out to my boy Heineke, but affectionately known as Heineken. He wasn't the reason why they lost that game. I mean, they were just
No, not at all.
outgunned, but that dude was playing his balls off. I mean,
Yeah, he was.
He was doing everything that he could do to win that game. Like, probably even if Alex Smith could have started this game, based on the performance that, Heineke had, I got to say, he gave you the best chance to win. He literally left it all out there, made some just crazy plays to keep him in that game. It was still very much in contention going in the fourth quarter. So that guy was all guts, nothing but love for his performance in that game. But Bucks are just too good.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think that he's their fourth quarterback this year. Like you had Alex Smith, who's broken before the season and broke down again at the end of the year. I can't remember who their initial second string quarterback was, but he got injured like 4 weeks into the year.
Oh, it was a dude he used to be the backup in Carolina that
yes,
Ron Rivera brought over.
But yeah, so there was him, and then of course we all know the story with the troubled story of Dwayne Haskins.
You're
and then
a young
Kyle Allen. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. You had it.
There we go. Kyle Allen.
But yeah, so it was like he was their fourth choice this year, and like he looked the best of any quarterback they've had all year. Just absolute baller performance on him. I also have to give a shout out. Again, I hit send in our text message. I think I even put it on Twitter. But Rob Gronkowski and Tampa's left tackle Donovan Smith, they made Chase Young irrelevant this game. He
wiped him off the face of the field.
He had 2 quarterback hurries the entire game. Like Tom Brady barely even knew he was there. It just, for a guy that went out and said, "I want Brady," he got dominated. And I, shout out to him. He went up to Brady first thing after the game, and they shook hands, blah blah blah. But man, if you're gonna say you want Brady, of course he wouldn't have. But if you're gonna say you want Brady, you cannot get dominated like that. You cannot do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. It's a bad look for sure. Chase Young is still gonna be fine.
Oh, he's still a monster. Don't get me wrong. Yeah,
all pro candidate type of guy, but just got to wear it in this case. And I would say kind of
That's
agree
fair.
with Justin there.
That's a fair point.
It's weird like that, man. But going into the game, I mean, Heineke. Just on paper anyway, even if he wasn't, if he is your starting quarterback, they're still outgunned. So, but it was definitely something the Bucs were looking at, like, okay, we got the 4th-string quarterback in there. Let's give this guy a hard time. And he was up for it, man. I mean, he was not the reason why I lost that game. That's all I'm going to say. So, one of the more gutsy performances, especially a 4th-string guy starting in a playoff game. I mean, that was just all balls.
Yeah, that touchdown run is going to be the play that everybody knows him for forever. Just ducking out of that pocket, scrambling out, diving touchdown. He just that kid killed it this weekend. That was awesome watching him ball out.
And I mean, sucks. They came up short, but that he's got nothing to do but be proud of how he played in that game. Baltimore, Tennessee. This was pretty surprising, just considering that Derrick Henry just got wiped off the stat sheet pretty much. I mean, he had like 40-something yards. I mean, it was crazy.
18 carries for 40 yards.
Yeah, and this is, feast season for him normally. But Baltimore just handled it, man. Lamar still can give you those plays where it's just like he is probably still the fastest guy on this entire field. Like, they get one block and just like cut and gone. So, impressed. Baltimore's kind of been like a late coming on team, so credit to them. I was not a believer. They were kind of languishing in the middle of the season. Like we said on here, it just seemed like they couldn't beat any of the good teams, really. Last time they played the Titans, Derrick Henry had the walk-off touchdown. He had like 200 yards of that game. So they tightened that up. And, well, no pun intended, tightens up. But took care of business there. They're moving on. He gets his first playoff win. Shout out to him. I really liked the play too, where he busted one outside, started like stutter stepping on the guy, and then just like went back and sat down. I was like, all right, you need to like live to be able to play like this. Like, it would be cool, just trying to like stiff arm a guy or dive through somebody, but that's the economical play right there, Lamar Jackson. So kudos to you. Chicago and New Orleans. Sorry, Tyler, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, that was a good smart play on his end, and it is nice to. It was kind of unfair that he already had the he can't get it done in the postseason moniker on him because he's 23, like
still a young man.
Exactly. Tower Power, massive influence in the show. But again, good to see him get the win. Excited to see him keep going. I mean, especially because. I was actually looking back at my preseason predictions, and I had them winning the Super Bowl against San Francisco. So maybe Baltimore can still save part of my prediction with this. See if they get on a nice run.
Yeah, of a team sort of hitting their stride right now. You got to sort of like the way they're playing. Which we get to the last game. Pittsburgh just doing the total opposite, as you can see by the outcome. But the infamous Nickelodeon game, as it will forever be known. Chicago goes to New Orleans. I mean, if you're going to put a game on Nickelodeon, probably, I don't know if it's good to have the kids be exposed to Bears offensive football.
No.
But I enjoyed the Nickelodeon broadcast. I'm not going to lie. It was just a novelty, but I believe that we could see more of these. I mean, I thought it was done as well as they could have done it. I didn't know how much extra like Nickelodeon was going to do, or just basically like show the CBS broadcast on Nickelodeon with some like extra little things. But they did their whole entire broadcast on their own. And as you saw my sign, I can only hope that the Slime Zone does make a return. And shout out to Burleson too. He did a pretty good job on the commentary. They were trying to, have a color guy that knows what he's talking about, but also would be willing to sort of explain it to a kid. And I thought he did a pretty good job with that. Made it entertaining as it could have been. And then Iron Eagle's son, which I can't think of his name right now, but I told Tyler and Justin during the game, I was like, this guy's pretty good. He seems kind of like a poor man's Iron Eagle. Come to find out it's his son. They sound exactly the
same. Yeah, it was I didn't get
Noah
to see the
Eagle.
Game. There we go, Noah Eagle. I didn't watch that. I just watched the regular CBS broadcast, but I was looking at Twitter the whole time, seeing the graphics and the videos put up on there, and it just looked like a ton of fun. I definitely need that slime graphic for every sport ever. For touchdowns,
we can translate into everything.
Yeah. Like I saw people already putting that over like clips of home runs, and it looked freaking great. Goals, big hits, dudes getting kicked in the face in an MMA fight. I know this is gonna be very specific between me and Ronnie, but like if they could do the effect of like when Kimbo knocked out Dreads and Dreads got like the Dreads exploded back. If they could do that and have slime just coming out of the guy's head, that would look amazing.
Let me. I filmed it on the TV for the first one because I was eagerly awaiting the Slime Zone, and it was pretty exciting.
Hey, what a mess.
Can't really hate on the
Slime Zone. So good. I love it. No, I love that so much.
They had the highlights that they were redoing with like sort of the block figures. That was pretty cool. And then they had always go in a commercial. They would replay different clips or highlights, overlaid with the Nickelodeon graphics. I like this one with the burger and the SpongeBob eyes and the dust clouds, of course. But overall, it was, better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really have any expectations of what it was going to be going in, but
yeah,
I thought it was well done. I could see this happening again. Viacom still owns CBS anyway, so it's not going to be that hard. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on in the street right now. It might be the elote man.
Streets is talking.
Yep. Streets is watching. Streets is talking. That's not a graphic. That's actually what Miller looked like before he was ejected from the game. Yeah, man. Punching people with helmets. It's I don't know what's the deal with that.
That was the same corner that got Wims to punch him in the helmet earlier in the year. Now he got Miller to do it, and on top of that,
same corner that also got Michael Thomas to punch him in practice and not get to come back from his injury.
That dude's got a spot on any roster for life just because he can apparently get people so pissed off they punch him.
He's on almost that Jalen Ramsey level of just talking it. You tell me.
You tell me.
He's sassy, man. Whatever he's saying, it's working on these guys because he's just getting everyone to punch him.
Yep.
Oh, C's checking in. New players entered the game. Shout out.
There we go.
And yes, I did neglect to mention he is the play-by-play guy for the Clippers. The Baron shaming me for that. I was aware of that. I just couldn't remember his first name. Noah Eagle. At least he doesn't say like, no, call me Noah because I don't want to be Ian. I want to be Iron Eagle. And then Justin, just to put a pin on that last one, that's a dime back that's gotten a number 2 and number 3 wide receiver ejected from games. That's a winning trade every time. We'd have to agree. It's clearly living rent-free in these guys' heads. Unfortunately, apparently Michael Thomas's head as well, because he hauled off and smacked him. And in the game of the day, I would say just because I hate the Steelers and everyone's rooting for the Browns. It's been a long time. And this was just crazy from the very jump. Steelers fumbled their first snap of the game. Browns dove on the end zone. I mean, people that didn't see the first part of this, you could have probably missed like the first, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes, and it was already 28-0.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would just be like, what the heck is going on? And a Baron clarifying, Noah Eagle replaced the legend Ralph Lawler. Bingo! Lawler's Law. But, yeah, the Browns, and I was still nervous because, one, it's the Browns, and two, the Steelers will just do something to spite me anyway. I was like, dude, I feel like not only the Browns curse, but the Browns just feel like a team that would take their foot way too much off the gas. And they almost got caught up in that. They started playing super soft. The Steelers just look a mess right now, though. I don't really hate Juju, but it is funny to see him get his little, fair shake. Anyone that was thinking that the Browns did not think about that all week, like they're still going to be the Browns comment, completely off base, because that was like mentioned in every single one of their post-game interviews. But just to recap, that's we talked about that on Friday. They have a couple good players, but at the end of the day, the Browns is the Browns. And they got punched in the face. I mean, they look bad. Ben had an insane stat line by the end because, I mean, they already were throwing a ton, like they've been sort of ill-advised doing all season. But then they're at a point where you got to keep throwing. I don't know if, Tyler, if you have it in front of you, but it was like 4 picks, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was. I don't have the exact numbers. I think it was 64 pass attempts, over 500 yards, 4 picks, 4 touchdowns. Just, in like anybody that's watched them all year knows, like Big Ben's, his arm is going. Like just the zip isn't there anymore. It happens. The guy's been in the league since, 04. Just him having to throw that much, and oh boy. That was a crazy game. It was just even crazier that Pittsburgh like made it close. Like towards the end, it was like, oh god, the Browns are really gonna blow this.
I was getting a little nervous. I mean, not even for my hate of the Steelers, but just like, what is gonna happen, Cleveland, if they blow this? They were up like 5 minutes into the game, 28-0. Like, this is gonna be one of the all-time most Cleveland Browns things ever. But they did hang on, and they got the win.
Hang on.
As mentioned. Like I said, Baker was mentioning it. Garrett mentioned it in his post game. Kareem Hunt had a pretty funny Instagram live where he mentioned it like 25 times, which I want to show you guys.
Hey, run it back! The Browns gonna be the Browns! Hey! Get him out of here, Sean! The Browns gonna be the Browns! The Browns gonna be the Browns! It's a new year, a new team, baby! Woo-hoo-hoo!
It's never not satisfying to see the Steelers get punched in the face. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah, there you go.
So savor the flavor, Cleveland, which they did.
But yeah,
and I got a couple street scenes. No, go ahead. Sorry, Tyler. We can wrap up.
No, I would say it's just super impressive. Obviously, they had all their issues with COVID. They didn't have their head coach there this week. A couple other assistant coaches, a couple other players. Like it was impressive what they did, man. They just came out right off the bat, like you said, just punched Pittsburgh in the mouth repeatedly within the first few minutes. In Pittsburgh, like you got to figure out what you're going to do with this now. Like you've got a quarterback that you still owe a ton of money to next year that can't really throw the ball anymore. Your offensive line is old. You got a couple good young receivers, including a salty one in Chase Claypool, who today said, "Yeah, they beat us, but they're going to lose next week anyway, so it's all good." Like you got beat pretty bad. Like
you already lost. So what does that say about you?
Yeah, but hey, props to Cleveland. Good luck next week against Kansas City. I'm rooting for them.
Give them hell, Browns. All I know is even just winning this one game, especially against the Steelers, long time foil of theirs, Even when they were good, the Steelers are usually always good also, and most of the time better than the Browns, obviously. Muted, if it was not a quarantine type thing, would be, I'm sure, a little crazier than this. You might see some Bills Mafia level action. But some fun videos out there of people just hitting the streets, celebrating. Like the first one here. Shirtless, but relatively for the most part masked up. So stay safe out there. And then this last one is someone driving through that from the point of view of their car. Pay attention to the last guy in the brown uniform on the right, doing what I believe is maybe like a stanky leg. But this guy cracks me up. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Do the stanky leg. Do the stanky leg.
Woo!
Yeah, hey, I'm glad they got to celebrate that because Lord knows the streets of Ohio are probably not celebrating too much right now. It's probably pretty quiet. But
no, and it's going to be a very tough putt playing against everyone's favorite, the Chiefs, going into this. But hey, stranger things have happened.
True.
At least kind of just sort of what Tyler was getting at. It felt like the Steelers, who are normally like this time of year, pretty clear cut, like they're organized, and like it seemed like they kind of were just sort of making it up on the fly, and the Browns just were more like, we're the underdog, we just got to get after these fools, hopefully get a lead early, and they just stuck with it all night. I mean, they made me nervous when they got a little conservative there, but they got the big plays, the big Chubb touchdown, just enough plays to just put them over the top when I thought it was like, oh, they're going to blow it. Oh, my God, they're going to blow this. But they stuck it out, and they got the win. Also, just an important message from the Cleveland police. Congratulations. But also a reminder that celebratory gunfire is both illegal and extremely dangerous. So please be safe out there, Cleveland.
Also, Ronnie, don't you have the graphic of what the number one hit song was the last time Cleveland won in the playoffs?
Oh, I sure do. Last time they won a playoff game, On Bended Knee by Boyz II Men was the number one song in the United States.
That was the music video that had Lark Voorhees, a.k.a. Lisa Turtle from Saved by the Bell in it.
A simpler time. It was a simpler
times. Hey, anytime we can mention Boyz II Men on here, I'm all for it.
Oh, Justin, that guy was reenacting the Dak injury.
Ooh, ow.
That's hateful, man. But shout out to the starved but hungry at the same time Buffalo and Browns fans getting that playoff win. It's nice. Raiders still waiting, but it hasn't been as long. So savor that flavor. That is always satisfying, especially we're in the division with the Steelers, or in the case of the Bills, the Patriots, who just tormented everyone forever. So have a weekend. Try to keep it going if you can, but shout out to those guys. I know we're a little bit over time here. I just wanted to share some of those videos with you guys, but it was a awesome Super Wildcard Weekend all around, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. Good weekend. Looking forward. Of course, we'll have more on it during the week, but it'll be a bit busier weekend of sports this upcoming weekend, of course, with all the NFL action, but we got the NBA going, the NHL starting up, and the UFC will be back. UFC will be back on ABC on Saturday. But,
dang.
Yeah, but we'll get into that a little bit later this week. Ronnie, let's go ahead and finish this up here.
Yeah, thank you guys, as always, for watching, commenting, calling in. We will get back with you on Wednesday, which actually I believe is the first night of the NHL.
Yes.
To break you guys off with all the new latest and greatest stories, the fallout from what I'm assuming is just a massacre going on in the national championship game right now.
52-24.
Yeah, true to form.
Yep.
But a well-deserved Heisman. So, Tyler, thank you as always. Thank you, the viewers and commenters. That's all I got. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.